Alrighty, good evening to those of you on YouTube. We will be going live on Facebook here momentarily as well. So I'm just trying to get everything set up and squared away here. And then we will be live on Facebook as well. So I hope everything looks okay for those of you watching on YouTube. And we will be touching base on multiple flash flood warnings that have been issued as well. So again, just bear with me here for a second and we're going to get things started. So again, I hope everybody's having a good evening so far. It is a little noisy out there for some of you. And we'll kind of go from there. We're just checking things. All right, everything looks good. So 1 second here. And we'll get things started. Okay. Okay, so I think what we're going to have to possibly do here is okay. All right, so welcome back, YouTube folks. I hope that this looks a little bit better for you now, and now we are going to bring in our Facebook audience as well. So just stand by 1 second, please. All right, everybody, good evening to you. I'm forecaster Nick Dunn here live on Ohio News and Weather and across our entire Bell Park Weather Network. We appreciate you tuning in with us here this evening. We are tracking more showers and thunderstorms this evening, some of which are producing some very heavy rainfall, and even some areas of some reports of funnel clouds even this evening have been observed as well. And we do have multiple flash flood warnings that are in existence right now as well that we are a little bit concerned about. So we'll talk about all that here in just a second. But first off, I do want to zoom into parts of southern Ohio where that seems to be where the worst of the activity is right now. We're watching multiple areas of showers and storms around Circleville and then also back into portions of Fairfield and Perry counties as well. We do have a flash flood warning for Perry and Morgan County. I'll talk about that in just a second, but very heavy rain falling across parts of the Scioto Valley from near Circleville, again over towards portions of Fairfield and Perry counties, and then kind of curving back down towards Hillsborough. We're seeing some heavy rain as well, and we're also watching some new storms developing back off to the west across parts of the Miami Valley. So we're not quite done with the showers and storms just yet. And I do think our overall severe weather chances are beginning to diminish just a little bit for us this evening. So hopefully that's the case. There are some reports of some high water and flooding on the northern side of Franklin County. Also some reports of wind damage over in parts of Licking County. And we did get a report of a funnel cloud just a little while ago over here into Warren County. That has since kind of moved away from the region and seems to have weakened just a little bit. Let's move up to the north so you can kind of see what's going on up here. We are watching a line of strong thunderstorms right now kind of crossing portions of Hardin County, portions of Wyandotte County, and even portions of Seneca County as well. You can see this shower and thunderstorm line here kind of stretching from east of Kenton, east of US 68 up to about upper Sandusky. This is strong, but it's not severe. We're likely seeing some very heavy rain, and as you can tell, there are a lot of lightning strikes popping up there on the radar as well, so we're likely seeing that to contend with as well. And then also up here towards Cleveland and even towards Norwalk, we're still seeing some heavy rain and some thunderstorm activity here as well. The good news is this activity is not nearly as strong as what we're seeing elsewhere. But I do want to point out, if you are along Lake Erie, you're likely seeing some water spouts potentially with some of this activity. And I will say also, if you're in downtown Cleveland, I know the Browns game probably wrapped up not too long ago, but you're going to want to move indoors as these storms approach. And thankfully, again, the Browns game has already ended this afternoon, so that's good. It's always good to try to not have severe weather or inclement weather during outdoor events. But that will continue to move on towards the northeast, so over towards Menor and Ashtabula eventually could get in on some of that activity. Let's go back to the south a little bit. I do want to speak on these flash flood warnings because we do have several of them. So we'll switch over to the Charleston, West Virginia next. I want to talk about all these flash flood warnings that we have. So first off, for Perry and Morgan County until 8 o'clock this evening, you can see that there is just a complex of very heavy rain and thunderstorms back here this evening. And we have rainfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour occurring with some of these thunderstorms as they continue to move on towards the east here. So again, hopefully if you happen to be out driving, that's going to be south of US 22 there in Perry County. That's where the bulk of the heaviest rain is right now. It's where we could be seeing some of our biggest problems. Also up here into Zanesville, Muskingum County, we've got a flash flood warning up here as well. We had some reports of even some hail up here just a little earlier today. And we do have a third flash flood warning that is in effect for portions of our coverage area. This is going to be over here into portions of West Virginia, so that's going to be portions of Pleasants County and Tyler County. That flash flood warning is going to go until 8 o'clock this evening as well. So we are continuing to monitor all of these showers and storms for you this evening. And again, some of these have been severe from time to time with primarily wind and hail. We've also had several reports of funnel clouds today, especially across our northern communities. Lots of reports of cold air funnels. And again, those typically never touch the ground. So hopefully things will kind of stay that way. And then we are tracking, I thought I had these populated and turned on, but maybe not. We do have a couple of special weather statements I do want to speak about. This newest one, which has just been issued here for parts of Pickaway County, Fairfield County, and Hocking County. This storm here is what is prompting that special weather statement. That is a really strong looking storm. And there's another storm pretty much right next to it that's also very strong, crossing into Perry County out of Fairfield County. So this area in particular, we're likely going to be seeing rainfall totals easily 2 to 3 inches within the next hour or so, if not more. And the lightning count just on these two storms alone is just a little over 1,100. So that's really impressive that we are still seeing lightning counts that high this time of the day. So just make sure that you are taking caution. Again, that's going to be just to the south of US 22. If you happen to be driving along US 33 between Lancaster down to Sugar Grove and Rockbridge into portions of Hocking County, you're going to want to take it slow because you're likely going to find pockets of heavy rain, ponding of water, and even the potential for some minor flooding along some of our roadways. If there are any low water crossings or any creeks and streams in this area, they're going to rise pretty quickly and fill up with water. And so just kind of keep that in mind. Make sure you take it slow during these downpours as well. You may also experience some hydroplaning with some of these storms as they continue to move on through the region. Kind of zooming it back out for you a little bit, working back into the Columbus metro area, things are calmer, but we still have some showers and storms, particularly on the western side of the city, so in between West Jefferson and Grove City there into Prairie Township. You'll be seeing some of that here shortly. Some lighter but still moderate rain at times on the southern side of Columbus towards Zobetz and Groveport. And then we get back into some of the heavier rain the further south you go. And as I mentioned, back to the west, we are still seeing some showers and storms here as well. And just so you guys know, those noises in the background, just kind of getting some of the alerts that are issued every once in a while. But still seeing some thunderstorm activity into Preble County, and then working back into southeast Indiana as well, into Franklin County, Indiana. We're seeing some strong storms there as well. This is the actual cold front that is going to continue to make its way off towards the east this evening, and that should bring an end to our showers and storms, and especially an end to our severe threat here. I would say within the next couple of hours. I think our severe threat will continue to diminish with time. The overall heavy rain and thunderstorm and rain threat in general will continue, though, for the next several hours. Let's go take a look at what's going on to the north here. Across parts of northeast Indiana, northwest Ohio, we are seeing some general showers here. This is kind of associated with some cooler air that's in place right around that area of low pressure. And in Paulding County, we're seeing some heavy rain and some thunderstorms. Also, eastern Wood County, Ohio, there was just a funnel cloud reported again not too long ago. And that's going to be that guy right there, that little red icon that you see. That's an indication of a tornado or a funnel cloud. But in this case today, we've had a lot of cold air funnels, and really Wood County has seen the most of those from what I've seen this evening. So if you have any pictures of those today, send them in when you can do so safely. I would love to see those, and we'll try to get those posted to our Facebook pages. And then also into southern Ohio, Highland County seeing some showers and storms as well. We do have a flood advisory for several counties down here in southwest Ohio, continuing for at least the next little while. I know we got Fayette, Clinton, Claremont, Adams, Brown, and even portions of Highland County, I believe, are under a flood advisory at this point in time for the next little while. There was an inundation. Basically, this entire area was completely loaded with heavy rain and thunderstorms earlier. It has since diminished just a little bit, but still we're going to be experiencing some of that to residual runoff for quite a while. Those of you watching across the mid-Ohio Valley, okay, obviously right now the main concern is going to be what's going on across parts of Perry, Hocking, and Fairfield counties, but we are still seeing scattered showers and storms across, I'd say, about half of the mid-Ohio Valley, in particular near and north of US 50. And of course, we have the flash flood warning there for parts of Pleasants and Tyler counties in West Virginia that goes until 8 o'clock. And there are some other storms over around New Martinsville that will lift up towards Wheeling and Moundsville here in the next little bit, if you're not already getting in on some other precipitation. And then we can take a look. Actually, there's not a whole lot else going on out there. A little bit of light rain and some light shower activity, even a few rumbles of thunder here in Tuscarawas County, into Holmes County and southern Stark County, but that's really nothing impressive whatsoever. So let me look at some of your comments here this evening and see what you guys are reporting out there. Would love to hear what you guys are seeing out there. And so bear with me just one second while I get that populated in here for you. And we just want to kind of see what's going on. So lots of thunder, Laurelville. Yeah, you guys are probably getting hit pretty hard right now. Is it going to pass Van Wert? And again, I'll answer as many questions as I can. So really, nobody in our coverage area is completely done with rain for the night, I would say, necessarily. We are still dealing with, again, obviously now some of the heaviest and the most concerning activities now kind of shifted south of Interstate 70. That should continue to be a trend through the rest of the evening hours. And eventually the heavier activity will also now start to eventually stay east of I-71 here as we get past, I'd say, probably 7 o'clock tonight. Our threat for severe weather will continue to diminish. But I don't think anybody's completely out of the woods just yet for rain, at least at the time being. Somebody says you're running DoorDash orders in the Macedonia area, Solon, Streetsboro. Are you going to need a boat? You could at times, depending on where exactly you're at. If you're in Southern Ohio, I would have to eventually, I'd probably have to venture to say yes to that question. I can honestly say nobody's ever asked that before, so that's interesting. Worcester, Northeast Ohio. Right now, Wayne County catching a little bit of a break, but there are some other showers and storms back across parts of Wyandotte and Marion County that may swing over your way here in just a little bit. For those of you in Mansfield, yeah, so let's put the radar into motion for a second so you can kind of see what's going on, and I'll kind of zoom it in for just a bit for you to kind of focus in on where the worst of the activity is. For those of you that were asking about the Mansfield area in particular, these storms up here into Wyandotte County are kind of sliding to the east-southeast. So there are some different storm motions today. If you're out ahead and where the better energy and instability is down here to southern and southeast Ohio, these storms are moving off to the northeast. But if you're back to the north and west, some of that activity is kind of actually sliding to the east-southeast. So Mansfield, you might catch a little bit of that. Same thing for Ashland, but more likely to be into Marion, which obviously Marion County really does not need any more rain after what they saw yesterday, but unfortunately may be stuck with it. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning now for portions of Fairfield County, Hocking County, Pickaway County, and Ross County. So this is a rather large warning. So let's see if we can get zoomed right into it. And it's going to be for this cell coming into Hocking County really right now. Let's see if I can get that to populate. There we go. I'm going to turn off the special weather statements. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning for quarter-sized hail and winds up to 60 miles per hour, again, for parts of southeastern Pickaway County, northeastern Ross County, the northern portion of Hocking County, really from Logan up to Lancaster, anywhere along 33, you're in the warning, and also kind of back to near Kingston, Laurelville, you guys are in the warning zone. I do want to caution you to one spot, and that's going to be right here. See a little bit of an inflow notch starting to pick up just a little bit right there. We'll watch and see what happens. We've had numerous thunderstorms today have attempted to produce rotation, have attempted to produce tornadoes, but nothing has been successful yet. We've had a lot of funnel clouds today, but there's a big difference between a funnel cloud and a tornado. Remember, a tornado is when that cloud is making contact with the ground, and we've not seen that yet today. So this is a severe thunderstorm warning just now coming in. If you're just now watching us over on the Mid-Ohio Valley Weather Update, let me just double check and make sure that I think I'm live over there, but let's just make sure that we are. I'm fairly sure. Just make sure on my end. Okay, yep, we're good. So that's kind of where our primary focus is going to be now, is across parts of central Ohio. Just checking in on our YouTube stream as well. Things look good over there, so that's fantastic. All right, so let's get back to the radar here now. And again, it's going to be this storm right here, and there is some purple showing up. In fact, I can turn on our hail detector and see if there's any hail popping up or any kind of rotation. And yeah, so we are seeing some hail, and as you can see, so I kind of hover back over that again. As you can see, there's some hail indications here. We could be seeing some severe hail up to 1 inch in diameter. In fact, the radar says there's a 100% chance that you're going to see hail, and there's about a 50% chance that some of that could be severe, which would mean at least quarter size. So looks like the worst of that right now is in between Tarleton and Laurelville, and that again is moving off to the east and northeast at about 20 miles per hour. So this is a very slow-moving storm. So in addition to the damaging wind and hail threat, there's a lot of rain, and I'm going to put the radar back into motion for you so you can see that as this storm is moving off to the northeast, it is kind of training across the same areas. We have another new severe thunderstorm warning and a new flash flood warning. So multiple warnings just coming in. You're going to see those polygons here right at the end light up like a Christmas tree. So we have a new severe thunderstorm warning now. That's going to be for portions of Perry County and Morgan County. It's going to be up there towards New Lexington. We also have another new flash flood warning as well. That's going to be for portions of Pickaway County, Fairfield County, Hocking County, and Ross County. So again, I was just mentioning that we're going to see a lot of rain in this area. Some spots may see 2 to 3 inches of rain in a short amount of time. So we're going to stay with this now for just a little bit. And I'm going to zoom it out for you so you can see these new polygons that have been issued. And now over here to Perry Morgan County, there's a severe thunderstorm warning in particular for the new Lexington area over to not far away from McConnellsville. And this area in particular seeing some potential for some strong gusty winds. Let me just pull that warning up. I'm just kind of curious to see what they have as the hazards on that one. Okay, so 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. Again, that's for the cell coming right in through New Lexington, and that is also kind of lifting off to the northeast here gradually over the next little bit. I'm going to reposition the map just a touch for you. Flash flood warning here for parts of Pickaway, Ross, Fairfield, and Hocking counties until 8:15 this evening, and taking a look at that warning text for you. So far, 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain have fallen with an additional 1 to 2 inches of rain possible. So obviously, this is where the worst of the weather is right now. So we're going to kind of stay focused here. Again, keep in mind if you're up to the north of I-70, up around Upper Sandusky, near Marion, and then stretching over towards areas mainly south of Mansfield, we will be experiencing there's another line of storms out there we were talking about just a little bit ago. That will slide on through, but that's not severe at this point. I'm still watching southwestern Hocking County. This is a little concerning to me. We have just, again, a little bit of an inflow notch still popping in there. So I'm a little concerned to see where that goes. The hail on that appears to have dropped off just a little bit, perhaps. Let's go over to velocity. Okay, so yeah, so we are noticing here just a little bit of what I would call maybe broad rotation, right where that inflow notch is. And that's going to be in between Kingston and Tarleton, just to the south of Stoutsville. This should be Ohio Highway 56, I think, that runs out of Circleville there to the southeast towards Laurelville. You've got US 22 up here that runs out of Circleville up to Lancaster. And you've also got 188 that is kind of coming through the Laurelville area right here as well. That kind of stretches back to the southwest there. So that's kind of give you some geographical reference. But really, my main concern right now, in addition to the threat for severe weather and flash flooding, I'm going to step out for just a second. Look at all this lightning that we are seeing out there this evening. That is an impressive amount of lightning that you're seeing there on the radar sweep there this evening. So I just wanted to kind of share that with you there for just a second so you can kind of see that we have multiple hazards that we are currently dealing with across really, this is going to be parts of the Scioto Valley and working into the Middle Ohio Valley. So looking at that, and I don't see any other new warnings at this point, but I do want to mention some of these rainfall rates. Let's kind of zoom into this a little bit, and let's talk about just how much rain we have perhaps seen. See if I can pull up the 1 hour total. See if I can pull that up here. All right, so this is the 1 hour precipitation totals. And I just want to point out a couple things here. Number one, I mean, look at these rainfall rates. And this is just, excuse me, this is a new rain in the last hour. This is why we have flash flood warnings. You're looking at 2 inches of rain near New Lexington in the last hour. You're looking at about 2 to 2.5 inches of rain in between Bremen and Logan. And then back into southeastern Pickaway County, you're looking at almost 2.5 inches of rain in just 1 hour. So this is why we have flash flood warnings. That's why we are concerned about that threat for flash flooding continuing. And if we look at let's see if I think there's even a 3 hour precipitation off. Let me see if this will work. Okay, so that's not going to populate this time, and that's fine. So we'll take off the numbers there, and let's take a look here as well. Okay, yeah, so that's kind of a look at what's going on down here across parts of the Scioto Valley. Again, a lot of lightning. I mean, the lightning count itself is almost up to 2,000, which is really impressive for this time of the evening. And so these showers and storms continue. Obviously, you have some occasional severe thunderstorm warnings and flash flood warnings. And keep in mind now that some of the better ingredients for severe weather are shifting a little further to the east as that cold front approaches. So that's kind of why we have these warnings where they are. Let's bounce back up to the northwest just a little bit. For those of you here in Paulding County, still seeing some heavy rain up here, maybe even a quick rumble of thunder, and could even be seeing a couple of cold air funnels with the environment that's been more conducive today across northwest Ohio. Working a little further to the south and eastern parts of Wyandotte County, Marion County, getting in on some of these showers and storms as well. Again, this line itself probably shifting a little more towards Bucyrus and Marion. May clip Mansfield, but let's see how the next 15 to 30 minutes unfold. We'll kind of get a little bit of a better track and see how that holds together. Also, looking out my window, it is pouring here on the southwest side of Columbus at this point in time. We've already gotten plenty of rain, but also, just want to also point out that we are seeing a lot more widespread development start to take place across the Miami Valley. So from Urbana back to Dayton, and then working back towards Connorsville and Brookville, we're seeing some pretty good activity there as well. Let me look at, let's see if So there's mentioning that there's a couplet there in Pickaway County. I just want to see where they may be seeing that. I'm not sure if they're looking at maybe the terminal out of Columbus, perhaps. Let's take a look and see here. Okay, so it's not going to be from Columbus, I don't think. Probably more from Wilmington. But at any rate, we've had a history today of some storms producing rotation from time to time. So not totally surprising that we are seeing that on radar. So let's go back down under these warnings again. Still have a severe thunderstorm warning in place here for parts of Pickaway, Ross, Fairfield, and Hocking counties here. Also, again, a new flash flood warning for this area as well. We'll put the radar into motion. We talk about training thunderstorms. You're going to see exactly what we mean. So watch what's been happening here, primarily just to north of Logan, kind of one of the sweet spots where the heaviest rain has been. You had one cell move through, and now you're seeing more kind of back building to the southwest, and that's going to follow the same path. So if you're north of Logan towards Sugar Grove along 33, you're probably going to be in these extreme or torrential downpours, if you will, probably I'd say for the next 30 to 45 minutes, and you may get in easily another 1 to 2 inches of rain out of that on top of what you've already received. So that lightning count continues to rise, at least in this particular zoom set that we are currently kind of focused on right now. And I mentioned earlier a little bit of an inflow notch possibly there in portions of Hocking County. It would have been right there, but I think it is starting to get choked off just a little bit. But overall, as a very strong, organized looking and very healthy and mature thunderstorm. So that's why we have the warning that continues here. The environment's been conducive. And in addition to that, where we've had heavy rain over the last couple of days and it's been consistent, now you add additional heavy rain on top of that. Even a wind gust of 40 to 50 miles per hour can sometimes bring down trees when you have weakened roots. So that's just another kind of hazard to have to contend with. So again, US 33 coming out of Lancaster down to Logan, you're going to want to be cautious with that. You may find some ponding of water on the roadways. US 22 coming up over here out of Circleville to Lancaster, and then eventually towards New Lexington and Zanesville. You're going to find some torrential downpours there as well. And also Ohio Route 56 coming out of Circleville through Tarleton, Laurelville, and working your way south. You're going to encounter some ponding of water at times as well. And again, you may even find some roads closed from time to time as well. Also, real quick, this just coming, we have a new special marine warning. I don't normally talk about these, but I mentioned Lake Erie would have the potential of seeing some water spouts. Let me see if I can get this to populate here for you. That's a very thin line, and it's not what I was expecting. But so essentially what we're seeing right now is here along the lake, we have showers and storms. And when you add in the lake boundary and the fact that the water temperatures over the lake and the inland temperatures are not that far apart, you've got plenty of moisture to work with. We have a cold front coming through. There's an area of low pressure nearby, so there's enough ingredients where there's just enough of a spin in the atmosphere. So we're likely seeing some water spouts here along the coast of Lake Erie. So we do have some marine warnings. If you know anybody that may be out on the water, or perhaps you're in Cleveland and kind of looking off to the north and west, you may be able to see some of that. But really, these marine warnings are issued for boats, and in particular freighters that may be going back and forth between the United States and Canada, or anybody else that may be just kind of out there boating. Maybe you're out there fishing as well. Obviously, you don't want to be out in this right now. There's some pretty heavy weather moving through the parts of Lake Erie out there this evening. Working into portions of Lorain County around Elyria, and then also here just to the north of Oberlin and north of Wellington. Right there along the Ohio Turnpike before it splits into 80 and 90, we are seeing some pretty heavy showers and storms there. Could see some ponding of water because the movement on this may kind of train across the same areas repeatedly for the next little while. So don't be surprised if you encounter some areas of flash flooding there. Let's get you back down to our warnings here real quick. I also, again, do want to touch base for those of you across west central Ohio and the northern Miami Valley. Again, Lima, you're dry. Wapakoneta, you're dry. Salina, you're dry. Paulding County is still seeing a thunderstorm there, but that may look just a little bit weaker now in this particular scan. And then we're still watching this line of storms from Wyandotte County back through southeastern Hardin County as that continues to the southeast there. So Brant is in Chillicothe saying it's quite windy. Let's jump back to the south. You know, there's some pretty steady rain falling right now down there in Chillicothe, so no surprise there whatsoever. And again, we're still dealing with this severe thunderstorm warning for Hocking, Fairfield, Pickaway, and Ross. And let me get the expiration time on that. I'll pull that back up for you. That's going to be for quarter-size hail winds to 60 miles per hour until 5:30. Now, this warning for Perry and Morgan County, I'm going to actually guess it may be for the cell that's here in Corning, and that may be lifting a little bit further to the north. I'm not sure exactly which storm. There's multiple storms in that polygon, so it could be any one of those, but until 5:30 here as well for parts of Perry and Morgan counties. Let me look at some of your comments again. See what you guys are saying about what you are seeing out there this evening. So a lot of you guys are saying thank you for the information. I appreciate that. Levi says it's raining pretty bad and it's nasty in Tarleton from another report. How long is this going to be in Laurelville? Well, we're going to be in this for a little while. We'll zoom it out just a touch. I say within the next 30 minutes, this should have kind of moved away from you. But even after that, you're going to have some excessive runoff from all the heavy rain that you've had. You're also going to have just some plain steady light to even at times moderate rain. But the worst of this should be out of Laurelville, I'd say within the next 15 to 30 minutes at the least. Let's see what else we got. It's pretty dark with thunder in Lancaster. Yeah, so really Lancaster, you're right on the edge of this. But as this starts to lift a little bit to the north, you may see some very heavy rain and obviously some gusty winds and obviously a lot of lightning and thunder. You're already having that, but you're going to may see that kind of increase just a little bit as that lifts off to the north. So these green flashing boxes, those are the flash flood warnings. You can kind of see the outline on those, and that's the flash flood warning. And then your orange boxes, these are your severe thunderstorm warnings. So if you're in Logan, though, I would have to think here actually that maybe your severe weather threat kind of maybe ending just a little bit. Let's put this back into motion. And yeah, so I think if you are moving west of Logan along 33, I think that's where the bulk of that severe threat's likely going to exist. But you can see, again, this is just a mess of showers and storms, very heavy rainfall, torrential downpours. Again, lightning count's very impressive. So we want you to be indoors. Obviously, remember when thunder roars, you should move indoors anyway. But anytime we have showers and storms like you're seeing here, this is very concerning, and you should not be traveling unless you absolutely have to. Now, again, you're starting to see just a little bit of a northward component of motion. That would be good if we can get this to lift a little further north versus east-northeast, because then we can get some of the heavier rain to end a little quicker. But let's just not worry too much about that just yet. Let's just see what happens. Still kind of watching southwestern Hocking County just a little bit. If there's going to be any kind of rotation or wind damage, it's going to be on the back side of the storm. So we'll have to watch that over the next few minutes and see if anything evolves. Still seeing some heavy rain now moving back into the Columbus metro as well. Kind of watching that thunderstorm kind of passing right through the heart of Franklin County there. So in case you are living up in that area. And outside of that, guys, I don't really have much else to go over. Let's go jump into Dayton for a second. So we'll go right down to the Dayton metro here for you. And now we're seeing some pretty heavy storms pretty much developing right near the I-70 corridor. And there's something else here. Watch these different altitude boundaries. You see these thin green lines? These are actually kind of triggering additional thunderstorms this afternoon. So we have a lot of surface boundaries. We even have some leftover outflow boundaries from yesterday. And so that's helping to trigger these showers and thunderstorms. And again, some of these are dropping almost too much rain at one time. And so the other thing, look over here. I'm going to step to this side now. Look what you're seeing over here into Clark County as well. See these thin green lines that are kind of moving north? And you can see some other thin green lines kind of moving back to the west. So these different boundaries are kind of converging. It's what we kind of call convergence at times, when we have different boundaries in place. And that's also going to help to continue to trigger some of these additional showers and storms here for the next little while. So something just to kind of keep in mind for you. Tornadoes. We are not really seeing any risk of tornadoes. Again, we've had reports of cold air funnels and even a couple land spouts today, potentially. I'm still waiting on some confirmation on some of those. But there's a difference between that and a tornado that we would typically see out of a supercell thunderstorm. But these cold air funnels, they are not tornadoes. 95 to 98% of the time, they don't even touch down. Again, obviously the exception would be something like yesterday in Randolph County, where we had that EF0 land spout tornado. And that threat appears to be kind of centralized into more of northwest Ohio, which is not on the screen here at this point in time. So we're kind of watching that. Clark County, so yes, you're going to get hit again in Clark County because this is going to eventually start to move to the northeast. So my concern here in the northern suburbs, the Dayton metro area back to New Lebanon, if you watch the radar loop, you can see they're just training over the same area. So we may see some minor flooding start to take place just south of I-70 there as you're approaching that US 35 exit there in the Dayton region. So just something to kind of watch for. Let's see, what else do we have here? Other questions. Sugar Grove checking in. Very heavy rain, lots of lightning, no wind or hail yet. Okay, so that's interesting. We'll go back to that in just a second. But sometimes looking at different atmospheric things that we see here on the radar is kind of cool. And this is one of those things. Again, we got different boundaries kind of converging together. And that's kind of allowing for these showers and storms to kind of redevelop and refire. So let's go back into portions of Fairfield County and portions of Hocking County as well. So what you're seeing here, again, I just got that comment there from Sugar Grove saying there's no really wind or hail, but there's still an immense amount of very heavy rain, and it's going to continue to train right through Sugar Grove and southern Fairfield County. It's also going to work into portions of Perry County eventually, so you're not quite done with the rain yet in Perry County either. And again, obviously that severe thunderstorm warning there for Hocking County. That's where we're obviously seeing some of the greatest risk of seeing any of those damaging winds. But I will say that is even looking a little bit weaker over the last couple of scans compared to what it was when the warning was first issued. So that's a piece of good news there as well. New Lex, we're seeing some pretty heavy rain here as well. That severe thunderstorm warning set to expire in about 8 minutes. The other warning that is over here for portions of Fairfield, Pickaway, Ross, and Hocking goes until 5:30 as well. So if those warnings fall off without any new warnings, we'll probably wrap this video up for the time being. What else we've got here? See, it must have been some other comments in here somewhere as well. Yeah, so we're not looking at really risk of tornadoes, so that's good. Will all of the red and some of the purple hit Lancaster? So yeah, so if you're in Lancaster, let's put the radar back into motion for a second. You may be watching us from this particular area in general. Yeah, so you're going to be getting some of the heavy rain here very shortly. Again, as you can see, it is starting to lift to the north over the last few scans, so that will allow for Lancaster to start seeing some pretty heavy rainfall here relatively soon if you're not already starting to get in on some of it. Looking for some more of your comments and reports here as well. Has anybody had any flooding concerns today? Has anybody had anything take place at their particular location? What are you guys seeing out there? I would love to know. If you have any pictures, when you can do so safely, I would appreciate if you could send those in to us on Facebook. Let's see what else we're looking here. Douglas, how are you enjoying this new setup? Yeah, this is a really nice setup. We can kind of be right in front of the camera and let you know what's going on. We can kind of explain things a lot differently, but obviously I still have to look down every once in a while. How about Marion? Yes, so let's jump back to the north again because we haven't touched on some of our northern communities in a while. So yeah, moving now back into Marion County, a line of pretty strong storms here. That's moving off to the east. And I'm going to have to say now that probably Mansfield will be getting in on some of this. This is starting to hold its composure, and it's actually starting to gain a little bit of intensity, particularly on the southern end of this, just to the north of Richwood and west of Lake Rue. That's going to come right through Marion. So you may find some minor flooding occurring once again in Marion. So you've got US 23 there that runs from Morale down through Marion, and eventually if you're working further south into central Ohio. But if you're coming down out of upper Sandusky, you're going to be in this for a little while there on 23. Let's see what else we've got here. How is Athens looking? Let's jump back down to the Mid Ohio Valley again as well, just in general. Athens County are actually kind of catching a break right now, but there is some light to moderate rain back across parts of Ross and Vinton County that may swing on through and give you some additional pockets of at least light to moderate rain over the next little while. Still got this flash flood warning as well for parts of Tyler and Pleasants County for the next little bit as well. So yes, we're still dealing with quite a bit of activity out there this evening, so we're going to hang on for just a couple more minutes. I want to see if they're going to reissue these warnings here in southern Ohio, and if they don't, then we will cease coverage for the time being. Angel says that she appreciates us being live. We appreciate being live with you, so thanks for tuning in. Heavy rain in Lorain County. There's actually a special marine warning up that way across far northern Ohio as well, so something else I have to kind of keep in mind. For those of you watching kind of across northwest Ohio, so you can kind of start to see the different storm motions. So this activity, you can start to see is moving to the east and southeast, whereas some of this activity, like for example, you're coming to Marion County, is kind of moving due east. And then the activity where we have the severe thunderstorm warnings down into the middle Ohio Valley is kind of moving off to the northeast. So some different storm motions as we have this area of low pressure kind of spinning out here across parts of the Great Lakes. You've got a trailing cold front moving to the south and east, so all that's kind of contributing to the different storm motion factors today, in addition to the wind shear that we have in place. How's London looking? Well, I'll tell you, Madison County, for the most part, kind of catching a break right now, so that's some good news. We'll go back up to the Cleveland metro again because there is some pretty heavy rain, and in fact, the storm in Lorain County has picked up some intensity the last few days here around Elyria. So that's going to move up here towards North Olmsted and Berea and maybe eventually over to Parma as well within the next 30 minutes. And we still have the special marine warning here along Lake Erie. So we're seeing some of that as well. Let's go back down to our warnings one more time here. And again, we're going to see if they're going to issue any new warnings. So again, both of these orange boxes that you see are set to expire at 5:30. The flash flood warning for Perry Morgan County goes until 8. For Hocking, Fairfield, Pickaway, and Ross until 8:15, and for Tyler and Pleasants counties in West Virginia until 8 o'clock. So I'll kind of get those all back into view for you. So that's kind of where things are standing right now. And again, all of these warnings are scrolling here at the bottom of the screen for you, so you can get those in real time and let you know when those warnings are going to be expiring for your community. So again, obviously the main concern is these stronger showers and storms with a couple warnings, but these look a little weaker and are becoming a little less organized in terms of the severe weather threat. There's still a pretty substantial heavy rain and lightning threat for the next several minutes on that. Good news is in our flash flood warning here in West Virginia, the rain has let up at least temporarily. There are some other showers and storms just outside the polygon. Some of those may drift back into those areas where the flash flood warning exists. You may see some additional heavy rain, but otherwise, this is kind of what we're left with. So I don't think, based on what I am seeing, that we are going to see any additional warnings. What does a special marine warning mean? Well, that is issued when there are high winds from thunderstorms or the potential for water spouts that have either been confirmed by mariners or indicated as a potential by Doppler radar. And that's kind of a heads up to those of us that are boating or may have any other kind of special interest over Lake Erie. So, great question. So the current time is 5:28, and those warnings are set to expire in about 90 seconds. So we'll hang tight for just a little bit longer. And one thing, too, across the Miami Valley, we're starting to notice a good uptick in thunderstorms, even up by 75 here towards Sydney and Troy. So if you're traveling up and down 75 between Cincinnati and, say, Wapakoneta, you're going to be running through multiple rounds of showers and storms, and all of that is starting to move right along I-70 in general. So those of you back into the Columbus metro, again, I say we're not done with the rain yet because we're seeing more showers and storms developing across parts of the Miami Valley here this afternoon. And now moving into the evening. Yeah, so a water spout is pretty much a tornado over water, and obviously they don't typically cause damage, obviously unless it hits an island or something like that. Once a water spout comes on shore, it becomes a tornado. So good questions. A couple reports of some high water in northern Franklin County. 2 inches of rain reported near Gahanna, and some high water near the Columbus Westerville campus. And the parking lot usually floods after heavy rain, but this is the first time. Okay, so water reached the building. Okay, that's interesting. So this is why we have flood advisory still in effect for Franklin County, or at least we did. That may have dropped off by now, but obviously still watching new showers and storms. This is a little closer to, if not right along the actual cold front as that continues to shift eastward. So that's probably why we're seeing these renewed showers and storms developing. So we are now approaching 5:30 here within the next couple of seconds. And I think you're going to see both of these warnings are going to fall off here. Actually, we've got about less than 5 seconds. So as soon as 5:30 hits, you should see those orange boxes go away. And there you go. So they're gone now. So we are now severe weather free across our entire coverage area here right now. And hopefully that will stay the trend here for the next little while. So I'm going to stay live for a few more minutes over on YouTube. If you want to check us out on Ohio News and Weather, just search for us on YouTube, and you can continue to watch some of our coverage over there. But for the meantime, I'm forecaster Nick Dunn reporting. For those of you watching on Facebook, I greatly appreciate it. Have a great night. Send us reports and other information that you may have when you can do so safely. All right, and for those of you that are over on YouTube right now, good evening to you. I don't know if anybody's been watching us over there or not this evening, but I just want to give you guys a quick update as well. Don't want to forget about you guys. We are watching, obviously, these showers and storms continuing this evening, and I also want to experiment with a couple different things here. So starting to hear some more thunder in the background here. So as a quick storm just kind of passed through Columbus. Now it's kind of lifting off to the northeast there, but our severe thunderstorm warnings have been allowed to expire, which is a piece of good news, and hopefully it kind of stays that way for a little while. We'll bring this back full so I can see things a little bit better for you. So again, there's your heaviest rain right now across parts of central Ohio, southern Fairfield County. And again, some of this is starting to lift to the north a little bit, so we should see some improving conditions eventually coming out of Pickaway County and Ross County. Things should be getting better shortly as some of the lighter rain kind of on the backside of this will kind of work through. That should help to allow water to start receding here very soon as well. Get the radar back up so I can reposition the map a little bit. There we go. If you're still watching us here on YouTube here this evening, again, lots of showers and storms, very heavy rain continuing this evening. So I also wanted to take a few minutes for you guys here that are with us on YouTube this evening. I'm sure maybe a couple of our Facebook followers are checking in with us over there as well. At this point, I'll give everybody just a couple of seconds to kind of check back in with us here. YouTube link, let me get that posted for a couple of folks here real quick on the Facebook side. We are starting to gain some more traction here on YouTube, so this is fantastic, and I really appreciate everybody that is here, whether you're a new person, you're just subscribed for the first time, or you've been here for a while. We're doing some different things here, okay, just checking in on some of our other comments here. Okay, so with this said, for those of you on YouTube, I just want to take a couple minutes with you to say thank you for being a subscriber to us on YouTube. Our goal here pretty soon, if you can spread the word about us, I would really appreciate it. We're approaching 400 subscribers, and I would love to get that even up more and more. But our goal is we're going to try to find other ways and other platforms and other ideas to try to get other people involved here with us on YouTube. And this is, again, kind of a backup platform for us. So I'm glad things are working, and I'm glad that you guys have been able to kind of watch us, and this has been good. So with that said, I'm going to hop off here for now. But again, showers and storms continuing this evening, and we'll keep you posted here. I'll kind of zoom it out wide for you. We still got a lot of lightning out there tonight across the region as well. There's even some other storms, as you can kind of see here. I'll turn to the side a little bit. Back here in Pennsylvania, still seeing some showers and storms as well. So if you're traveling east, you're going to have to contend with some of that. But otherwise here locally, lots of showers and storms. The actual cold front here just to the west of I-71, we have an area of low pressure back across the Great Lakes still kind of spinning and rotating. That is also going to work through. We will have some leftover showers and maybe even a few rumbles of thunder tomorrow, especially in the morning time, but by the afternoon, hopefully most of that will start to clear out. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and probably even into Friday, looking really nice. Temperatures in the 80s and humidity levels back to more manageable categories. So I appreciate you guys watching us on YouTube this evening. I'm forecaster Nick Dunn reporting, and thanks for being a subscriber.